So I'm Brian Knox, a senior producer at On Mass Entertainment. So we're kind of a recently formed publishing company up in Seattle, and we're actually kind of a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. And our first game that we're going to be bringing to market here is called TERA. For you guys, you may have heard of it, but that's really why we're at GDC. It's kind of our first showing off of it, and we're kind of really excited about kind of unveiling it here in the Western audience. So I'm going to talk about two things today with TERA. And the first thing is going to be kind of the new user experience. You can see right here the character creation is up, and then as well as kind of the world, a little bit of the story. And then I'm going to talk about our innovative combat system that's really going to define TERA and really set the new standard for MMOs. So first up, we've got our race selection. You can see we have 6 different races: the human, the Kastanic, the Aman, the Papori, the Baraka, and the High Elf. And each of these races make up what's called the Valkyrian Federation. And the Valkyrian Federation was formed to repel this evil called the Argons. And these Argons appeared years back, and no single race alone could deal with it. And so the humans, kind of like the glue of it all, kind of bound everybody together and said, listen, we need to fight these guys off. And so when this federation was formed, it was very successful, and it still is successful. It's actually a time of unity and prosperity. Everyone's kind of working together. It's a kind of a nice time in a world for an MMO compared to like most MMOs that are war-torn and death, struggle, and all this kind of stuff. And so recently what's happened is this mysterious island's appeared between the 2 continents. And this island that's appeared, they're not really sure what it's all about, so they're sending people off to investigate and help the Federation out. And so your goal is to go and investigate as a player. And so you'll choose between these races: the human, like I said, kind of the glue of the Federation; the Kastanic, who are pretty much at all costs get it done. If you need something done and you don't want to know how or why, you let the Kastanics handle it. The Aman, kind of honor-bound, almost kind of a samurai type of code. The mischievous Papori, the stoic Baraka, they're almost kind of like the librarians of the world. Knowledge, wisdom, all that kind of good stuff. And the High Elves, they were the last to join the Federation. They're the proudest of all the races. They couldn't do it alone, and eventually they had to join, but they were a little bit reluctant. So I'm actually going to create a human. So these are the 8 different classes. The first 4 right here kind of fall into what we call the melee bucket, and the bottom 4 fall into the ranged class bucket. And you'll notice in our action-based combat what I'm kind of talking about when we get in there. They also fall into either a damage, support, or tank role. So you can see the warrior, the lancer, slayer, berserker, sorcerer, archer, priest, and mystic. So I'm going to create a mystic, and I've got some different facial options to choose from right here. We're going to be adding more and more as we go. It's we're in a process right now of hammering out all the game, and so all this stuff gets added in. So every time we get more and more updates to our character customization, it's really, really cool. So you got all the different hairstyles, colors, all that good stuff that you're going to see. And with each race being able to customize, there's just going to be tons and tons of combinations. So first thing you'll notice right away is I don't have a mouse cursor. I actually kind of have a targeting reticle, and you'll see right here, where I go, like that's where the damage is going to go. So that's what we get by action-based combat. All the focus is here on the screen. It's not on here. It's not whack-a-mole playing all the skills that pop up. So I'm going to move on, and we got all the quests, the town-based stuff, all that kind of good stuff, but I think that the important thing to note is we're still an MMO at heart, right? We got all the things that are going to satisfy the hardcore MMO gamer at the same time with this new action base. So if you look right here, you'll actually notice all the different stats. And the one stat you'll notice is missing from there is parry and dodge. And those are the things that we've transferred over to the action base. So to get out of the way of a monster, you're not going to roll a dice, you're going to actually roll your character. I'm going to switch over right now to the controller, because I think that this game works well with both mouse and keyboard as well as a controller. And I personally, for combat type situations, really like to use the controller. So we got a few of these big bad trees down here, and these aren't your normal rats that you're killing right away. These are pretty big guys, but they're a little bit slow. You'll notice that I changed as I got within range, right? So because it's not target based, like if I miss, right? So I'm gonna hammer on the knee. So now he's gonna get a little angry and come at me. So I'm going to want to get out of the way so he doesn't hurt me. So these guys are slow. It meant to be a little bit easier, right? The first thing you're going to counter. But if I don't notice his different tells, then I'm going to get hurt a lot more. So when he's backing up to do this, he's going to hit me with that. So I should have got out of the way, right? I have a skill that kind of lays down this kind of aura. See right there? All right, so I can pick that up and I'll get healed then, right? And I'm gonna switch over to my warrior class now. I'm gonna go over here. We have these groups of monsters. These are just as prevalent as like the solo monsters out there, but they're a lot of fun because you kind of get to toss these guys all over the place. So I got a dodge ability that allows me to kind of get out of the way from different skills with this class. This is a damage-based class. Oh. 2. Oh, wow. So you'll notice I hit this skill, which was a skill that when I was on the ground kind of gets me up really fast. All right, so I'm gonna run over to this area and I'm gonna go into an instance. And this instance can be done by either, solo or party play. It's just a single boss monster instance, so I'm gonna go in there and be able to fight this boss monster. So with this guy, you'll notice he's kind of huge and fat here. Let's see, where's he at? There he is. All right. So like I said, I can do this as a solo player. It's going to take a little bit longer, and it's going to take a little bit more of the action side than I guess you could say the MMO side, because I'm going to have to be really good with my dodges, really get out of the way. But I think this skill differentiator is going to be very appealing to people because they can do things that maybe normal players couldn't do because it is more action-oriented. If you hit that dodge perfect every time, you might be able to kill that thing that others couldn't. So the thing about party play, it's going to be a lot about formations, right? Like, as a shield class, you're going to be able to hold the line physically. Like, I can't run through this guy, right? Like, he's a block. So if I have a shield, I can hold him from getting to my healers, hold him from getting to my ranged classes. And so it's going to be really important for tactics and things within groups of how you end up, actually playing each individual, either boss monster or dungeon or encounter. So you can kind of start to see the diversity of the art style. There's all these different areas, whether it's desert or forest or winter. It's a huge world, it's all seamless, it's not zone-based. So this is your typical quest hub. You'll go here to get different quests to help the town, help the Federation, as well as sell your goods. There's a party matching area that you go to this bulletin board and kind of meet up with different party members. As well as kind of sell your goods to the things, like whether it's crafting stuff or whatever. And the Enchanted Castle is kind of a cool area. It's kind of got like a Halloween theme. And so we actually have a team of about, I'd say about 10 writers right now. And the writers are really psyched to write for this zone because it's like, it's meant to be kind of humorous and like kind of fun. And so like you can already tell just by the entrance of the gates that like, and the kind of like undead maids. There's some funny little cats in here. So it's like, we're actually spending a lot of time working with the writing team based in Seoul. Our lead writer just got back last week. He spent a lot of time explaining like, how does a story develop in a Western MMO versus an Eastern MMO, and what can they do to help us, and can we do to help them? And it's really a level of collaboration I haven't really worked on before, which is, I'm really excited about, and so are they. So right now I'm in Kostanica, which is the town of the Kostanics. Kind of see, it's a really different looking town, really cool. This is where all your trading will take place, your brokerage, your kind of guild management. There's going to be guild halls that are a part of this town. All that kind of good stuff that kind of goes into the community building for an MMO. It's also kind of the epicenter of politics in these major towns. And the political system is something we're going to get to later on in our cycle, but I think it's a really cool system. I can't say too much about it right now, but our writing team I know is really excited. They're working hard with the designers there to kind of help flesh it out. And we're really calling this a sandbox MMO, letting the players define their factions, not forcing people into having an enemy, right? So this way they can choose their alliances, their allegiances, whether they're PvP or PvE. The political system will always kind of create this kind of, this challenge for them as well. So we think we got some great stuff still to show. This is kind of, just the beginning of it all. So we're quite excited.